What do you do spiritually to stay connected in this business?
I do my best to love myself, love nature, and yoga helps.
From Hollywood's golden girl to a life of mystery, what really happened to Lisa Bonet? Lisa burst onto the scene as the free-spirited darling of the 80s, captivating millions with her effortless charm and undeniable talent. But then, just as her star burned brightest, it flickered and faded into the shadows. High-profile romances, a heartbreaking divorce, and whispers of a quiet life far from the spotlight. What led to her unexpected retreat from fame? Stick around as we uncover the fascinating journey of Lisa Bonet, from her meteoric rise to her sad, mysterious fall. The early days and Hollywood breakthrough. Lisa was Hollywood's free spirit, a name that once lit up TV screens and magazine covers, synonymous with energy, beauty, and a quiet strength that captivated a generation. But how did this golden girl of the 80s rise so high, only to slip into the shadows? Let's rewind the tape to where it all began. Lisa Michelle Bonet was born on November 16, 1967, in San Francisco, California, a city buzzing with counterculture vibes. Her mother, Arlene Littman, was a Jewish-American schoolteacher with roots in Eastern Europe. Her father, Alan Bonet, was an African-American opera singer from Texas. A mixed-race kid in the late 60s wasn't exactly a ticket to an easy life. Lisa's parents split when she was just a baby, leaving her mom to raise her solo in the middle-class suburb of Reseda, Los Angeles. Growing up, Lisa didn't fit neatly into any box. She once told the Los Angeles Times, "The black kids called me an Oreo. The white kids didn't talk to me." High school at Birmingham High in Van Nuys wasn't much kinder. She often felt like an outsider, grappling with insecurities and the uncertainty of finding a prom date. Yet, those challenges shaped the quiet resilience that would come to define her. Before rising to fame, Lisa explored the entertainment industry through beauty pageants and small television roles, appearing in commercials and guest spots by the age of 11. However, everything changed in 1984. At just 16, she walked into an audition for a new sitcom, The Cosby Show, and walked out as Denise Huxtable. The Cosby Show was more than just a television series. It was a cultural phenomenon that redefined representation and reshaped the landscape of American television. Airing from 1984 to 1992, it gave America its first real look at an affluent, loving black family. And Lisa? She was Denise Huxtable, the second oldest Huxtable kid, a free-spirited dreamer with a wardrobe that screamed individuality. From the pilot episode, Theo's Economic Lesson, viewers fell for her. Denise wasn't perfect. She flunked school, chased wild ideas, and had a vibe that said, "I'm doing me." By 1986, Lisa's portrayal earned her a Primetime Emmy nod for Outstanding Supporting Actress. At 19, she was a star. Denise was a movement. Teenagers everywhere emulated her boho chic style, from her beaded braids to her effortless cool. She was relatable, quirky, and real in a way TV hadn't seen before. For black girls especially, Denise was a mirror, a reflection of dreams and defiance. The Cosby Show became the #1 show in America, pulling in over 30 million viewers a week at its peak. And Lisa Bonet wasn't just riding the wave, she was helping make it. But then came the curveball, Lisa Bonet's risky gamble. In 1987, Lisa made a move that shocked fans, and maybe even herself. She left The Cosby Show to star in its spin-off, A Different World. The show followed Denise to Hillman College, a fictional HBCU, diving into college life with a fresh, edgier vibe. It sounded like a dream gig, her own show, her own spotlight. So why did it feel like a misstep? Well, the truth is, it wasn't entirely her choice. And behind the scenes, things were getting messy. Bill Cosby, America's favorite TV dad, was the mastermind behind both shows. On screen, he was Cliff Huxtable, warm and wise. Off-screen, Lisa's relationship with him was complicated. Reports from the time, like those in People and E! True Hollywood Story, paint a picture of tension. Cosby was a control freak, obsessed with the wholesome image of his TV family, and Lisa was starting to rebel. In 1987, she took a role in the steamy thriller Angel Heart, appearing in explicit scenes alongside Mickey Rourke. The media went into a frenzy, with topless photos in Interview magazine and headlines screaming scandal. Cosby wasn't happy. Some say he pushed her toward a different world to keep her in line. Others whisper that he didn't want her bad girl vibe tainting his squeaky clean show. A Different World debuted in September 1987, and Lisa was front and center. But cracks showed fast. She was late to set, sometimes a no-show, behavior that fueled rumors of unprofessionalism. Then, in 1988, she dropped a bombshell. She was pregnant with her first child, Zoe, with then-husband Lenny Kravitz. Cosby reportedly flipped. Producer Debbie Allen wanted to write the pregnancy into the show. Denise as a single mom. Cosby said, "No way. Lisa Bonet is pregnant," he allegedly told them. But Denise Huxtable is not. By the end of season 1, Lisa was out. She returned to The Cosby Show in 1989, and her baby was scripted into the show, but the damage was already done. Was Lisa's choice a mistake? Maybe. It was her shot at independence, but it came at a cost. Her bond with Cosby, already shaky, crumbled. She'd later hint at a sinister energy around him in a 2018 Porter Edit interview, long after his fall from grace. At the time, though, Lisa's star was still rising, but the first shadows were creeping in. The Hollywood rebel, Lisa Bonet, as the quirky and lovable Denise Huxtable, had become America's sweetheart. But by 1987, she was done playing nice. She was ready to burn that image to the ground and rise from the ashes as Hollywood's rebel. This is where the Golden Girl traded her halo for horns, and the world couldn't look away. Lisa wasn't content being the Huxtable kid forever. She wanted raw, real, unfiltered. In 1987, she posed for Rolling Stone not once, but twice. The first shoot was tame, but the second? A topless spread in Interview magazine tied to her new film, Angel Heart. She told the press, "I wanted to show who I really am." And she did. That shoot wasn't just a photo. It was a declaration. Goodbye, wholesome Denise. Hello, Lisa Bonet, the untamed spirit. But that freedom came with a price. Angel Heart hit theaters in March 1987, and it was a Molotov cocktail to Lisa's good girl rep. As Epiphany Proudfoot, a sultry voodoo priestess, she shed both clothes and her good girl persona in one daring performance. Her steamy scenes with Mickey Rourke left critics clutching their pearls, and the MPAA so scandalized that the film's first cut landed an X rating. Lisa was 19, fearless, and suddenly infamous. The tabloids feasted on Lisa Bonet's shocking turn, but she didn't flinch. Lisa Bonet was never one to shy away from speaking her mind, and when the media stirred up the controversy around her, she didn't hold back. She made it clear that she was unimpressed with how the press handled the situation. "I think the whole scandal is ridiculous," she said, shutting down the sensationalized coverage. In her eyes, the media was inflating it, twisting it into something far bigger than it needed to be. "They're trying to steam it up," she pointed out, calling out the unnecessary hype. At the heart of the controversy was a fleeting glimpse of one of her bare breasts, something she felt was completely blown out of proportion. To Bonet, this wasn't groundbreaking or scandalous. "It's nothing that hasn't been done before or that hasn't been seen before," she explained, putting things into perspective. She even compared it to Blue Velvet, an R-rated film that featured full frontal nudity, yet didn't spark nearly the same level of outrage. In another Rare Spin magazine chat, she shrugged it off, saying, "Art should provoke." She was breaking free, but Hollywood wasn't ready for this version of her. Love and motherhood. The cameras were still flashing over Angel Heart's scandalous headlines when Lisa Bonet's real-life plot took a hotter turn. Enter Lenny Kravitz, rock god, velvet-voiced poet, and the man who'd rewrite her story with a single backstage glance. Lenny and Lisa met backstage at a New Edition concert in 1985. They quickly became close friends, and their bond grew so strong that they eventually moved in together as roommates. By 1987, their whirlwind romance was the talk of Tinseltown. On November 16, 1987, her 20th birthday, they eloped in Las Vegas, tying the knot in a tiny chapel. No glitz, no glam, just love, raw and reckless. Together, they were a power couple for the ages, her free-spirited intellect and effortless cool perfectly complementing his raw musical genius and quiet intensity. The press dubbed them rock royalty, and for a minute, it felt like Lisa had it all. But the fairy tale moved quickly. In 1988, Lisa found out she was pregnant. On December 1, 1988, she gave birth to Zoe Isabella Kravitz. Motherhood hit Lisa like a tidal wave. She told Essence years later, "It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever experienced." But it also threw her career into chaos. She was still filming A Different World when she broke the news. Producers scrambled. Some wanted Denise to be a mom on screen. Cosby shut it down cold. Lisa left the show after season 1, returning to The Cosby Show in 1989 with baby Zoe in tow. The set wasn't the same. She was a mother now, juggling diapers and scripts, and the industry didn't know what to do with her. Lisa's rebel phase should have been her golden ticket. She had the look, the talent, the buzz. But Hollywood started pushing back. After Angel Heart, the roles got smaller and edgier. Think Bank Robber in 1993 or Dead Connection that same year. Critics loved her grit, but studios? They wanted Denise Huxtable, not this unpredictable wild card. Typecasting became her cage. She'd audition for big parts, rumor has it, even Batman Returns in 1992, but directors couldn't see past the Huxtable ghost. In a 1990 interview piece, she vented, "They want me to be what they saw on TV. I'm not that girl anymore." By the early 90s, the friction was undeniable. Lisa wasn't just fighting typecasting, she was clashing with an industry that didn't get her. She'd show up late to sets, skip press junkets, and flat-out reject roles that didn't feel authentic. Her marriage to Lenny was fraying too. Motherhood had shifted her priorities, and fame was starting to feel like a trap. She told the New York Times in 1999, "I didn't want to be a celebrity. I wanted to be an artist." But art doesn't always pay the bills or keep you in the spotlight. Lisa Bonet's rebel era was electric. Bold choices, a rock star romance, and a daughter who would carry on her legacy. But it was also the beginning of her slow fade. By the mid-90s, her name was slipping from the A-list, her star dimming as Zoe's began to flicker. What happened next? A divorce that rocked her world, a retreat from fame, and a life rebuilt in quiet corners. The Vanishing Act. Lisa Bonet was the rebel who rewrote the rules, an 80s icon who marched to her own beat. But by the 1990s, that beat faded and the spotlight dimmed. Where did she go? And how did a chance meeting in 2005 pull her back into our hearts, only for her story to take another unexpected turn? By the mid-90s, Lisa Bonet's star had shifted. After her explosive exit from The Cosby Show and the Angel Heart controversy, Hollywood didn't know what to do with her. Lisa traded sitcom sets for indie films like Bank Robber in 1993 and Dead Connection that same year. Gritty roles that showed her edge. Critics praised her, but the big studios? They passed. Lisa didn't just fade, she vanished on her terms. After her 1993 divorce from Lenny Kravitz, she focused on raising Zoe. She moved away from the Hollywood machine, settling into a simpler life in Los Angeles. No more blockbuster auditions, no more tabloid frenzy. Her appearances became increasingly selective. A calculated cameo in An Enemy of the State, 1998, and a perfectly pitched turn in High Fidelity, 2000. These weren't career stumbles, but conscious choices. The 1990s became Lisa's quiet revolution, a deliberate retreat from the spotlight to reclaim her identity. Not as America's TV daughter, but as an artist, a mother, and ultimately herself. Then came 2005, and a night that changed everything. Lisa's second act with Jason Momoa. In a dimly lit jazz club in Los Angeles, the low hum of conversation intertwined with the soulful melody of a saxophone. Lisa Bonet, then 37, moved through the room with an effortless grace that still commanded attention. Across the way, Jason Momoa, a 25-year-old actor from Hawaii, met her gaze. For Momoa, this was more than chance. It was the culmination of a long-held admiration. As a child, he had watched her on The Cosby Show, captivated by the free-spirited Denise Huxtable. He told James Corden in 2017, "I saw her and thought, Mommy, I want that one." Now, face to face, the fantasy of a boyhood crush collided with reality. That night, they bonded over Guinness and grits at the 101 coffee shop, and a 16-year love story began. Jason, standing at 6 feet 4 inches, exuded confidence and had the potential to become a future Aquaman. Lisa was his opposite, petite, introspective, a soul who'd already walked away from fame. But together, they clicked. He was filming Stargate Atlantis when they met. She was still dodging the spotlight. Their romance wasn't loud, no splashy proposals or tabloid spreads. It was private and steady, built on mutual respect. By 2007, they welcomed their first child, Lola Yolani Momoa, born July 23rd. A year later, on December 15th, 2008, came Nakoa Wolf Manakawapo Namakaiha Momoa. Lisa had found her partner and a new chapter. For years, they stayed under the radar. But by the 2010s, Lisa's mystique started creeping back into pop culture. Jason's rise, Game of Thrones in 2011, Aquaman in 2018 pulled her along. Suddenly, they were on red carpets, arm in arm, a vision of effortless cool. Younger fans who had missed Lisa's Cosby days discovered her through Zoe, now a star in Big Little Lies and The Batman, and Jason's larger-than-life charm. At the 2019 Oscars, they wore matching pink Fendi to honor Karl Lagerfeld. Lisa, once Hollywood's runaway, was back, not as Denise, but as herself. The internet adored her quiet grace, her ageless beauty. She was 51, and somehow more iconic than ever. Then, in October 2017, they made it official. After 12 years together, Lisa and Jason married in a secret ceremony at their Topanga home, just outside LA. No press, no fanfare, just family, friends, and a Maori haka to bless the day. The world didn't even know until Us Weekly broke the story. Jason told ET, "I thought it'd stay secret, but some jerk leaked it." To the public, they were the perfect Hollywood couple. Raw, real, unshakable. He gushed about her to Esquire in 2019. "I married Lisa Bonet. Anything is possible." She called him her alpha in a 2018 Porter Edit interview, praising his strength and love. For a moment, they seemed untouchable, but what set them apart wasn't just love, it was family. Lisa and Jason built a blended life that defied Hollywood norms. Lola and Nakoa Wolf grew up with Zoe, Lisa's daughter, with Lenny Kravitz as their big sister. Zoe was already a teen when Jason entered the picture, but he embraced her like his own. He'd post on Instagram, calling her Zozo Bear, beaming with pride over her Catwoman role in 2022. Lenny, Lisa's ex from 1987 to 1993, was also family. He told Men's Health in 2020, "Jason and I are tight. We're brothers." They even wore matching skull rings Jason gifted him. Thanksgiving at their house was one big, messy, beautiful crew. Raising Lola and Nakoa Wolf, Lisa leaned into her earthy roots. No TV, no plastic, just imagination, paper airplanes, and dirt playdates. She told Porter Edit, "I want to cultivate their creativity." Jason, the rugged dad, taught them to climb rocks and throw axes, skills Lola showed off in a 2020 Instagram clip. Meanwhile, Zoe's star soared, and the kids watched their big sis conquer Hollywood. At The Batman premiere in March 2022, Jason brought Lola and Nakoa Wolf to cheer her on. He told ET, "Lisa couldn't be here, so we're representing." Lisa's vanishing act in the 90s wasn't an end, it was a pause. Jason Momoa brought her back, not to the fame she'd fled, but to a life she'd chosen. For 16 years, they built something rare, a love story that felt eternal, a family that bent but never broke. By 2017, their marriage crowned them Hollywood's dream team. But shadows loomed. What unraveled this perfect picture? A split in 2022, a divorce finalized in 2024, and a quiet life reshaped in 2025. The fall, divorce, struggles, and isolation. Lisa built a life that seemed unbreakable. 16 years with Jason Momoa, a blended family, and a love story that defied Hollywood odds. But in 2022, the cracks became a chasm. It happened on January 12, 2022. Jason Momoa posted a joint statement on Instagram, since deleted, announcing their separation. "We have all felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times," it read. "A revolution is unfolding, and our family is of no exception. We are parting ways in marriage." The news came as a shock after 16 years together and nearly 5 years of marriage. Fans saw them as soulmates, a rare Hollywood constant. So what went wrong? The reasons for their split remained unclear. They offered only poetic hints about growth and change. But speculation swirled. Sources close to the couple, like those cited by People and E! News, pointed to lifestyle differences. Jason's star was soaring. Game of Thrones, Dune, Aquaman, a whirlwind of global shoots and red carpets. Lisa, though, was pulling inward. She'd always been introverted, a woman who once told Essence she craved authenticity over fame. A source told People in 2022, Jason was moving in a different direction. Lisa wanted to be in LA, not on location, for months. He was chasing ambition. She was seeking peace. Their paths diverged, and love couldn't bridge the gap. Some whispered it was more than logistics. Jason's rising fame brought a spotlight Lisa had spent decades escaping. She'd walked away from The Cosby Show at its peak, shunned the Hollywood game after Angel Heart. Now, as Jason became a household name, that glare returned. A friend told Grazia in 2022 they drifted apart and wanted different things. Others pointed to the pandemic's toll. Those are transformational times, they mentioned. Whatever the truth, their statement insisted the love remained, evolving in ways it wishes to be known and lived. It was a breakup wrapped in grace. But grace doesn't erase pain. The emotional toll on Lisa was quiet but profound. She's never been one to spill her heart in interviews, but clues slipped through. In a December 2021 Interview magazine chat with Marisa Tomei, weeks before the announcement, she spoke of learning to be authentically me and stepping into this river of uncertainty. Was she hinting at the unraveling? After the split, she retreated further. Jason kept working, jetting off to film Aquaman 2, while Lisa stayed out of sight. No tearful tell-alls, no public breakdowns, just silence. A source told People in 2022 it's been difficult for them to be apart. For Lisa, a woman who'd always guarded her inner world, this was a wound she had to heal alone. The divorce crept forward slowly. Lisa filed officially on January 8, 2024, listing their separation date as October 7, 2020, their third anniversary. 2 years of quiet disentangling before the world knew. They settled fast, joint custody of Lola, now 17, and Nakoa Wolf, 16. No spousal support, assets split privately. It was finalized by July 9, 2024, per the Los Angeles Times. Jason told Access Hollywood at the 2022 Oscars, "We're not back together, but we're family." He delivered a Christmas tree to her Malibu home that year, a gesture of peace. But for Lisa, the end marked a deeper retreat. Now, in 2025, Lisa Bonet lives a quiet life, far from the public eye. She's believed to still call Topanga home, a bohemian haven outside LA, where she and Jason once raised their kids. No flashy premieres, no paparazzi chases. At 57, she's a shadow of her former self, not in defeat, but in choice. She's tending to her soul, away from the noise that once defined her. In a world obsessed with visibility, Lisa's chosen invisibility. And maybe that's her triumph, a life reclaimed, not surrendered. Unlike Jason, who shares his adventures on Instagram, or Zoe, who's thriving in the Batman and beyond, Lisa has no social media presence. She never has. In 2025, that silence feels louder than ever. When Jason and Bonet announced their split, he posted for them both. She doesn't have an account. It's not a snub to the digital age, it's Lisa being Lisa. She told Porter Edit in 2018, "I'm not a public person." That absence fuels curiosity. Where is she? What's she feeling? But it also shields her, a fortress against a world that demands too much. Her kids tether her to the spotlight, but only faintly. Lola and Nakoa Wolf, now teens, split time between their parents. Jason's taken them to premieres, like The Batman in 2022 for Zoe, while Lisa stayed behind. Zoe, at 36, carries the Bonet legacy forward, her career a mirror of her mom's early days. Lisa is in Topanga, or maybe somewhere else, living on her terms. A source told EW in 2024 she's focused on herself and her kids. That's all we know, and maybe all she wants us to. Lisa Bonet's fall wasn't a crash, it was a drift. A divorce after 16 years shook her world, but she didn't break. She bent, retreated, and reshaped her life in silence. In 2025, she's a mystery we'll never fully solve. Not because she's lost, but because she's found something else. Peace, perhaps. What's next? From Hollywood's golden girl to a quiet life in 2025, Lisa's story feels complete, yet open-ended. What's next for the woman who shaped a generation? She was Denise for a generation. She told Essence in 1990, "I wanted to bring my truth to that role." And she did. Black girls saw themselves in her. Fashion took notes too. Vogue later called her the original boho muse. By 1987, her Rolling Stone covers cemented her as a style pioneer. She didn't follow trends, she set them. Even now, in 2025, Gen Z rediscovers her on TikTok, remixing her Cosby fits. She influenced a generation not by shouting, but by being authentic, untamed, a symbol of individuality in a world that craves conformity. That's a legacy that doesn't fade. But Lisa's torch burns brightest in her daughter, Zoe Kravitz. Zoe told Ella in 2022, "My mom taught me to be true to myself. That truth shines." Zoe's got Lisa's mystique, Lenny's swagger, and a career that's all her own. Her 2023 album with Channing Tatum, her directorial debut Blink Twice in 2024. It's a creative streak Lisa would recognize. They share more than DNA. Zoe's got that same quiet power, that refusal to bend. In a 2018 Rolling Stone shoot, Zoe recreated Lisa's topless pose from 1987, not as a copy, but as a tribute. Lisa's influence is clear in Zoe's art and fearless spirit. While Lisa stepped back from the spotlight, Zoe pushes forward, proving that the Bonet legacy isn't stuck in the past. It's evolving. Lisa Bonet may have left the spotlight, but her impact has not faded. Beyond Hollywood, she carved out a reputation for something even more meaningful: her deep commitment to environmental activism. Bonet isn't just another celebrity who talks about sustainability. She actively lives it. She has long been a vocal advocate for eco-friendly living, using her influence to raise awareness about the urgent need to protect the planet. Whether it's sharing practical tips or supporting green initiatives, she has inspired her followers to adopt sustainable habits in their daily lives. She sets an example by reducing waste and choosing ethically sourced products, demonstrating that even small changes can have a significant impact. She is equally dedicated to fighting for social justice. She has consistently used her voice to bring attention to issues like racial inequality, gender discrimination, and LGBTQ+ rights. In a world where many prefer to stay silent on difficult topics, she stands firm, championing inclusivity and equity. Whether she's supporting organizations that uplift marginalized communities or speaking out on critical issues, Bonet remains committed to making the world a fairer place. Beyond activism, philanthropy is another core part of who she is.
Bonet has made it a priority to give back, using her platform to shed light on social issues and support causes that drive meaningful change.
In recent years, a renewed wave of admiration has surrounded Lisa Bonet. Fans, both old and new, are eager to see what she does next. Will she return to the screen in a groundbreaking role? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more interesting stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.